Let's start with an overview of the assignment, and then I will walk you through my process of creating my assignment, which is absolutely terrible. So, because I am not a wizard at creating tutorials or videos, mine will set the bar. If you can meet that bar or do a little bit better, then that's awesome. The point of this exercise is that you are going to create an 8-minute video. It can be a little bit longer than 8 minutes, but not longer than 10. If it falls a second or two below 8 minutes, that's fine, but it needs to have the content required for this assignment. Now, first of all, I want you to think about something that sparks your interest. And when did that start? When did Fitbits start? When did the first Nazi prisons start? When did helicopter parenting start? When did that become a good idea? When did some things start? And that's what you're going to investigate. When something started. Now you're going to first of all go to Google and literally type in the words, when did it all get started, whatever that is. I have helicopter parenting here, but you can use anything you want that's interesting to you. And you want to make sure that it's very narrow, because if it's too broad, you can't cover that in 8 minutes. So you're going to type in that and you're going to start with your facts. And what do we do when we start with our facts? That's right, we always start an EasyBib project. You can look at the EasyBib tutorials to remind yourself how this is created, but I've created in EasyBib a new project, and I've entitled that It All Started with Telstar, because that's something that interests me. You'll be able to see where I added citations. Everything that I studied, I made sure that I added to my information list. I'll be getting more into my example a little bit later. Now, remember that you want to get that little project started, and you're going to keep all those windows of your research open while you create your little script. Be sure that you're at a computer and that you've downloaded one of the many free screen capture programs. I use Screencast, Camtasia, Snagit by TechSmith. Google has free software called Free Screen Capture Software. Remember, you can go in your Cyber Cafe group on your Monday check-in, and you can share with your fellow members of the Cyber Cafe what specific tools you use that are free software items to create your tutorial video. You'll be recording your voice while showing the screenshots that support your views about how this particular event, trend, activity, anything, where it got started. And eventually you'll be saving that as an MP4. You can upload that to YouTube, which is an easy way, and just send in the, you can upload that to your Canvas account. And somehow you're going to get the link or the actual little video tutorial into the text box that you will see that comes up when you click submit this essay. You'll see a text box. You'll put your name, course, date, information. There won't be much word count. The word count will be the little script that you wrote and your works cited. And then you'll include a title, and you will type in the URL for your tutorial, or you'll actually embed the tutorial, whichever works best for you. As long as I can get to it and see it, that's all that really matters. Make sure that you add all your information, and then you will click submit. Now, I completed this exercise and I am pathetic at this. So this is the link to that, but I'm also going to go over how that's also at the bottom of this page, but I want to go over the creation of my particular project and my example. So what interests me is music. And when I was young, very, very young, not that young, but when I was young, there was a phenomenon known as the British invasion, and that is when the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and Manfred Mann and the Kinks and the Hollies and all kinds of bands just invaded the United States with this wonderful new music sound. And people would tell you That phenomenon known as the British invasion started in 1964. But here's the thing. I started thinking about that and I thought, I think it started a little bit before 1964. So here's what I did. I went to Google and I typed in, when did the British invasion start? And there it is. It shows that year of 1964. And it talks about the Ed Sullivan Show, and that is well reputed as the time when that started. But I start thinking, and I'm thinking, you know what? 2 years before this British invasion of all these rock bands, there was this wonderful little song that was recorded. What was that song? That's right, that song was Telstar. So I type in Telstar in Google and I look at the facts about Telstar to just test out my theory. And I find out that Telstar was actually #1 in 1962, 2 years before the Beatles appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show. So now I go to work and I research some information about that and I create a little script for myself to read. And I open all the windows of the pages that I've studied, and I've made sure to list all of those in EasyBib. And then I use that software, free software, and I create what is probably one of the most pathetic experiences of a video tutorial I've ever seen. But I did that on purpose. I thought, I'll go hire somebody or I'll get some student to fix this up and make it all perfect and pretty. And I thought, no, the point of this exercise is for you to build a theory based in fact and present that in a video format. It doesn't have to be gorgeous. It can be, and that would be wonderful if you want to do that. But it does need to follow, everything follows logically to make your point. Go ahead and do that and do the best you can. Remember, the bar is low. The information is important, and the citations are important to prove where you got your information. Now, after I've written my script and I've recorded my little tutorial and I've saved it to YouTube and I have that YouTube link, it's time to create my works cited. And I'm going to do that by exporting. And I can do that one of two ways. I can either use Microsoft Word or I can use Google Docs. Let's use Google Docs for fun this time. Now with my Google Docs opened, I can make whatever corrections I need to make to this Works Cited page to make sure that it's all correct. I see all this extra junk here and I'm going to take that out. I don't even know where that came from when I created the citation. Again, you will have all of those EasyBib tutorials to review to learn how to create the citations. This one now is out of order, so I'm going to cut that from there and I'm going to put it where it belongs. You can also see this demonstration in EasyBib tutorial 4. Okay, and it goes right under here. Okay, now it's in the correct place. Whoops. That needs to be indented. So let's go back there. Okay. And I see that this is duplicated. Other than that, it looks good. Backspace that so we don't have that gap. Now there's my citation page, and make sure it says Works Cited, which it always will because I am exporting it properly. And I'm going to copy that from there. I'm going to go over to the text box that I have open. And how did this text box get open? That's right. I clicked on the Submission tab in the upper right-hand corner whenever I logged into this particular assignment. I clicked that blue button that says Start Submission, and it brought up this text box. I've added my name, date, course, word count. I've given it a nice title. There's the URL for the link to the YouTube video. Now I'm going to go back over here to the margin because I want to make sure that it is not centered. And I'm going to paste that Google Doc. Oops, this needs to be centered. Other than that, it looks good. Center. There we go. Gap there. Okay, and there's a problem here, isn't there? These need to be double spaced. so they don't look correct. So let me fix the double spacing on this. Now, the way I'm doing this, because it's in a text box, is I'm having to manually do this. So here I'm adding a space. And remember, after that title, everything is indented. Down here, I'm going to add a space because after that initial net title of the article or name of the author, everything else underneath that is indented. And there's a live link. We want to make sure we remove any live links because we do not have live links in a citation page. So we simply remove the link. Oops. Make sure that that's correct. Okay, I'm glad that we're doing this so that you can see how I have to manually fix a citation page if it comes out formatted wrong. And there we have another one. Make sure that we remove that link. And there's the last one. Add a space so that it's double spaced, indent. And look, now the citations are all perfect. Yes, I know this is redundant, but that's the way that it listed. And so we have to do the citation as it was listed. There we go. So I have my name, date, course, word count, a nice title. There's the URL. Now, if you can find a way to embed your video into your post, that's great too. But this works just as fine as long as I can find it. Then I click submit and I'm all done. Put your best foot forward on this. The name of the game is making a nice tutorial with your voice over the images that you have located in your research so that you can form a theory about how something got started. That concludes this tutorial for this mixed media assignment.